Perfect fit closets. Today's lesson is about wall creating, resizing, adding, and naming. We're going to create our walls using the room layout tab and the continuous wall. We're going to show you how to resize, add, and name. I have my 2020 platform open. Left-hand side, I have my information placement and local browser. Right, I have my cloud browser here, and then I have my drawing tools here. So this is the normal grid that you'd start off with. To create a wall, we're going to click on the Room Layout tab. In their tabs, we have File, Home, Room Layout. We're going to select Room Layout, and now we're going to select on the upside-down triangle. We're going to left-click, and we're going to select single-sided. Double-sided if you want to put areas on both the front and the back side of the wall, or most likely single-sided. You can always add placement zone. You could always add and subtract wall dimensions and sizes afterwards, but it's great to have a great head start. I'm going to left-click on single-sided. Now that it's selected, I'm going to click on the continuous wall once again, and my mouse pointer has now changed from pointer to a plus. We always want to create our walls from left to right, or better known as clockwise. If I'd like to create a 100-inch wall, I can left-click anywhere on the grid, move my mouse to the right-hand side, which is clockwise, and I can manually change the length and left-click again when I want to have the exact width of my wall. If I want it to be exactly 100 inches, I can zoom in using my scroll feature off my mouse, and I'm going to keep moving so I hit 100 inches. And it's a little bit difficult because obviously I'm trying to make it exactly 100 inches. I'm going to just zoom in ever so slightly again. And as soon as I find 100 inches, I'm going to left-click once. Zoom in a bit further. And right about, that's a little bit difficult there. Again, keep going, moving to my left until I find 100 inches. Oh, almost there. 100 inches. And now I'm going to hit escape on my keyboard or right-click my mouse to exit. And now I've created my 100-inch wall. So that's the manual way how to create a wall, and it's a little bit difficult to get that exact measurement that you need. Let's try that again. I'm going to hit the Room Layout tab. I'm going to click on the Continuous Wall button. I'm going to left-click anywhere on the grid to start. I'm going to go clockwise, but instead of trying to move my mouse cursor, I'm going to hit the backspace button on my keyboard. You can see right now I'm currently at 79 3/16. I'm going to hit backspace and type in 100 and enter on my keyboard. And now I can hit escape or right click on the mouse. I'm going to hit escape, and now I've created a 100-inch wall. So that's going to be a little bit easier to use the placement zone. Let's try that one more time. I'm going to left click on the continuous wall button, left click anywhere on my screen, move my mouse to the right hand side. Now I'm going to hit the backspace button on my keyboard, type in 100 and enter. Now hit escape or right click on the mouse to escape out of here, and I have my 100-inch wall. So that's going to be a lot easier for everyone to use using the placement zone. Now let's create a standard reaching closet that has walls on the left and right side perpendicular to the back wall. I'm going to left click on my continuous wall button. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to left click, and I'm going to go up and create my 24-inch deep system, or however deep the reaching closet is. I'm going to type in 24 on the placement zone. I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard. I'm going to move my cursor to the right, indicating that that's where I want the wall to travel to. I'm going to hit the backspace button on my keyboard and type in 100 for 100 inches. Hit the enter button. I've got my 100-inch wall. Now I'm going to move my mouse to the bottom, so I'm going clockwise still. And it's set at 27 1/16. Hit the backspace and type in 24 and enter. Hit the escape button on your keyboard, and now I've got my reaching closet. So that's the easiest way. We'll do that one more time. Room Layout tab, continuous button. Left click once, move my cursor to the upside, type in 24, enter. Go to the right, type in 100, enter. Go down, 24, enter, and escape. Now I've got my reaching closet. Some reaching closets have no return walls, but some do. So here's a reaching closet with a return wall that you might notice as well. We're going to click on the continuous tab, and we're going to go in 6 inches, hit enter. We're going to go up 24, enter, to the right 100, to the bottom 24, and let's say 12 inches on the return wall. Hit the escape button, and some region closets look like this. Here's a master closet, the exact same concept. I can left click on the continuous wall. I can go in 12 inches, enter. I can make a 100-inch wall here. Go to the right, 100, enter. Go down, 100, enter. And I can go 12 inches to the right, enter, and hit escape on my keyboard to exit. So now I've got a room, such as like a walk-in closet, and I've started from left to right, or better known as clockwise. So that's how we create our wall. Room layout tab, I click on the continuous wall and choose either single-sided or double-sided. If we wanted to create a double-sided wall, maybe we have a bathroom on one side and a closet on the other side, we can click on the continuous wall button once again underneath the room layout tab. I'm going to left click by double-sided, select my continuous tab, left click once, go all the way to the right, type in 100 for 400 inches, hit enter, hit escape, and now I've got placement zones on the back side and the front side. You could always add and subtract, which I'll show you in just a moment. Resizing. If I want to resize the wall, there's two different ways to resize the wall. The first way is if it's just one wall, I can right click the wall, hover over wall number 1, and select properties. So once again, I'm going to right click on the wall, hover over properties and left click. And now I can actually tell the dimensions. So the dimensions length is 100 inches. Let's say I want to make this 101 inches. Maybe you miscalculated. I'll type in 101. We'll click on apply and OK. And now that wall is 101 inches. The other way to do it is the manual way, which is a little bit more difficult. I can highlight the actual wall, left click the green dot here. I'm going to hold down my mouse button, and now I can resize it here. But if I do that, as indicated, it's a little bit harder to resize the wall, get the exact measurements. So I always recommend to right-click the wall, left-click on properties, and change the length that we desire. Left-click apply, left-click OK, and that's the easiest way and more accurate, because now you can go to a 1/16 of an inch. Same concept for reach-in closets. I can right-click on the wall, left-click on properties. Now, if I just move this dialog box over to the left, we've got 3 different walls, wall 1, 2, and 3. Wall 1 is currently selected, it's highlighted in green. I can left click on wall 2, it's selected, highlighted in green, or wall number 3. I can also left click on the entire group. So wall group 4, so now the entirety is selected and I can change the properties. If I want to change the property off one wall, I'll left click wall number 1. And let's just say that this wall is 23 7/8. I can now left click apply, and you can see the wall has changed from 24 to 23 7/8. Maybe you want to change wall number 2. Wall number 2 selected. And again, I can just change the length to 99 inches, or let's say 99 1/16 will be as accurate as possible. We'll left click on apply and OK. Now I've changed it to 99 1/16. So it's always nice to actually change the walls. When you're doing your final measure, you can go to a 1/16 of an inch, which is nice and accurate. And that's how you would change and resize the wall. Now that's resizing the wall, but we can also change the ceiling height. We can always change the properties on the walls at any time. I'm going to right click the wall, left click on our properties. I'm just going to move my dialog box over so everybody can see it. If I left click the wall group number 4 and its entirety, it's currently all selected. I have 3 different tabs: the dimensions tab, type tab, and material tab. Underneath the dimensions tab, we can see that the entire thing is selected. The height is sitting at 96 inches. So the height for all 3 walls is 96 inches. I can change this. I can click on the up button or the incremental up button to a 1/16 of an inch and change my properties. If I want to make this 120 inches, I can manually change this like so by clicking the up and down features. Or I can delete here, backspace on my keyboard, and type in 120 inches. I can now left click apply, click on OK, And now this wall is 120 inches high. I can right click on the wall, left click on properties again, and left click the wall group. And again, I can see that everything's selected 120 inches. Let's take a look at our reaching closet. Maybe we want to show that there's a return wall, but the height of the wall is going to be different than the rest. I can always right click the wall, left click on properties, and we're going to change wall number 1. Instead of being 96 inches high, I'm going to make it 1 inch high. Click apply, and we're going to go wall number 5, which is right here on the other return wall. And I'm going to deselect 96 and make this 1 inches high. So now all my walls are 96 inches, except for the return wall on the left and the return wall on the right. It is now 1 inch. So now when we place our render, we could actually kind of see right through the walls. So that's how you change the heights on the walls. Now, how do we actually add more walls to an existing design? So if we have this closet here, so I'm going to subtract this wall number 5 here for a moment. I'm going to hover over wall number 5 and left click on delete. Now let's say I wanted to add a return wall. I forgot to add a wall right here. I'm going to left click on my continuous wall. We're going to go clockwise, so I'm going to left click here. I'm not going to go here because I want to attach here. I'm going to left click away from the design, and let's say I want it to be 12 inches return. I'm going to left click once, go clockwise. I'm going to type in 12 on my keyboard, 1, 2, hit enter, hit escape. Now I'm going to left click and drag it into place. My area snap is placed, so once I see my black squares, I'm going to let go of my mouse and it will attach itself. I still have my 100-inch wall and my 12-inch return wall. So that's how you would add walls. You would always want to left click the continuous wall, hover over, make my wall however wide I'd like it to be, let's say 24 inches, hit the enter button, hit escape, and then I can reattach this to one of my walls here and so forth, or wherever I'd like this to be. I can always add it here in the middle, for example, and then I can always resize this. So now I have 50 inches on the top, 45.5 on the right. I can right click on the wall itself. If I want to move just wall number 6, I'm going to right click wall number 6. I'm going to left click move. Now I can ever so slightly move this wall to wherever it needs to be. Naming. We could always name our walls afterwards when we do our split view, but for now I'd like everyone to right click on the wall, left click on our properties, and we know for this entirety of this section here is wall group number 7. As you can see, it's all highlighted, and I can go to wall number 1. If I left click, and all I'm doing is just left clicking and bringing this dialog box over so I can see what's selected. And left click wall number 2, change the properties there. Wall number 4, it's here, and so forth. Let's create another wall, and we're going to change some heights. I'm going to left click the wall. I'm going to left click and go to the right, and we're going to type in 100 inches, hit enter, and escape. Now let's say that this wall is 96 inches on the left, but there's a taper, and it's going to be 120 inches on the right. So there's going to be a little slope. So if you've measured 96 on the left and 120 inches on the right, we're going to make a taper wall. So I'm going to right click on the wall, left click on our properties. And now I'm going to, for height, if I hover over use same height for both ends, I'm going to deselect it. So now I have a height in the front and the height at the end. If I left click here once, I now have a green highlight here box. If I left click here at the end, that's where the end's going to be. So I want 96 inches on this side, and it's going to increase and taper upwards. So I'm going to select here, delete this, and type in 120. Hit apply, and OK. Now if I double click my wall, I now have 96 inches on the left and 120 inches on the right. There's more videos to showcase on how to create different wall heights. There's different types of slopes, and that's the basic premise of it. If you have any questions regarding wall creating, sizing, adding, and naming, please do contact us at support@perfectfitcanada.com.